The stakes are higher now compared to when I started working as a humanitarian aid worker. The risks are higher. My name is Banu Altinbas. I work for a peace-building organization. I am stationed and live in the Democratic Republic of Congo. When I first started working as a humanitarian aid worker 20 years ago, I was hoping that within the next few years, my job will be over. There will be no need for me. 20 years later, I feel like there's even more need for me to be working in the field, helping people who are scattered around because of the wars and violence. How we deal with situations have changed. It's no longer Group A is fighting Group B, and once they have a truce, that we will be able to heal the wounds, get out of there, and it will be maybe 3 to 6 months of that. No, nowadays conflicts are prolonged conflicts. 20 years, 30 years into those conflicts, we still need to have that humanitarian assistance. What is the root of conflict? It's poverty, unemployment. It is the misery of the everyday life. When it accumulates, it drives the conflict. We as human beings are losing our touch with what it takes to be human, what it takes to be living in a harmonious society. For example, if you look at the children of today who are in their 18, 19, 20 years in Eastern Congo, they knew nothing but war. So how can you give hope to these children that knew nothing else but the war? The onus is on the humanity. The onus is on human beings. That we are not faced with these kind of dramas over and over again in the world. I think what happened in 1994 and started in April 1994 in Rwanda was a test for humanity at large. And I think what worked in Rwanda is, first of all, everyone was extremely conscious about what happened to them. And rather than denying it, they embraced it. And they worked on it. But they also worked on it to say, we don't want this to ever happen again. Not to us, but not to anyone else around the world. Rather than punishing, trying to reconcile. Rather than pointing fingers, trying to see what went wrong. But also, the type of leadership that we had in the country at that point in time was extremely crucial, who said, no, we're not looking back, we're going to look forward. People are also educated as well over the years of their conflict. They know what's good and what's not good for themselves. But I do believe in what I do. And I do believe that with these kind of peace-building initiatives, working with the communities who were suffering from these conflicts for so long and changing their behavior towards a conflict and towards violence, I believe that drop is much more worth than not doing it at all. I was working in Darfur, mid-2000s. And we were in the hospital when we had someone coming in to say there was an explosion and there were wounded people. So I rushed to the location. It was actually a house, and there were 4 kids from the same family. They found an unexploded ordnance. They wanted to play with it, and that exploded. There was one child, we rushed him immediately to the hospital, and I went into the scene to see whether we can do anything. There was none. We could only find the body parts of the children. I came out. I mean, I think it's one of the most profound things. Because everyone outside, families, mothers, everyone was there. And I realized I cannot do anything else than hug them and tell them that we're with them. And then I rushed back to the hospital because I wanted to see what happened with that other child. So when I talked to my doctors, they said, Banu, we need to amputate his leg, and we need to have the consent from the father. So I went back to the father, and I sat down with him. I told him what was happening. I never forget that desperation and the resignation in his eyes. And he said, if that's going to save my boy's life, go ahead and do it. But we couldn't. He died on the operating table. Usually my therapeutic healing is to talk about that experience with colleagues who would understand me, of course. Similar experiences that people went through, when you talk about it, it actually gives you a little bit of comfort to see that you're not alone to experiencing that. But then it gives you more drives to say, well, I have to be strong and I have to continue. Not very secure anymore. Since, I believe, 2003, we could say the war on terror, now all of a sudden the aid workers become a part of the conflict. The rules of the game have changed. We're no longer safe in a lot of the locations where the Westerners are seen as the problem. I think the new generation is much more informed about the risks of the work, the type of work that they're going to be doing, what they should be contributing. They're also very demanding from the organizations that they're working for. I personally was not informed much about what I was going to do or to be facing. Every single person that I met in the field, they touched me for various reasons. So they all inspired me. They all have a piece in who I am right now. They taught me a lot about life. They taught me a lot about how to survive, how to be a better human being. I remember again in some places where we were helping people in a hospital, and every time I was passing through, people saying thank you to me. That we've totally forgot about that word in our very civilized world nowadays. Just that gratitude. I still believe in the goodness of humans, despite the fact that I've seen the worst of the humans and their capabilities. I mean, that generosity that I've seen in places where, displaced people who had nothing to eat, and the others opening their doors to those people. A house of 2 rooms accommodating 30 people and eating whatever they have. This is who we are actually as humans. This is what I would like to believe that who we are. And that's where I would like to put my energy as well, despite the fact that I have to see a lot of that ugliness that people create as well. It is always personal. I mean, I think I couldn't have done this job if I thought about it as a very impersonal, task-oriented job. Well, actually, if I was to lose my hope, I would have been here. So I guess I still have a glimmer of hope. I was a rebel, impossible to control and impossible to tame. Just to this day, it's not possible to tame me, thank God. I was never okay with the norms. I always challenged them. I never wanted to be what people expected me of being. I liked defying as a child and now as an adult. That also shaped who I am now. Stupidity angers me to this date. Ignorance angers me. Well, sometimes lack of empathy angers me. And I'm Mediterranean, so I let it out and be known. At least I'm a pacifist, so I'm not going violent with that anger. What amazes me, the nature, animals, and how they cope with this world better than us. Being alive amazes me, actually. I hope one day when I die that people say, oh, we had a great laugh with her. She was so much joy to be around, and she was a fun person to be with. She was a pain in the rear to work with, but she taught us a lot of things. When I decided to do this, I said to myself, I want to feel comfortable when I put my head on my pillow that I've done something good. The minute I realized that I'm not able to do that, I decided I won't be a humanitarian.